Hello and welcome to the weekend review of week beginning 2nd of August 2021. And for disclaimer, please refer to my website www.chartvideo.com/disclaimer. Nifty, as you can see, right from 7th of June till this date has not gone anywhere. We are in an absolute flat trading zone. Well, obviously, if you check the RSI, ADX, and all, they should be giving you perhaps no signals at all. Perhaps they should be in the equilibrium zone itself. Let's have a quick look at it and then we go to the other aspects. The ADX had come down to single digit of 9 and right now is placed at 11 odd levels. But by any means, the ADX as of now is still suggesting that perhaps the trading zone is on. With such low values of ADX, crossing over of PDI, MDI hardly makes sense. But if you say, well, what is the present scenario in Nifty as of now? The MDI is the dominating DMI and ADX, and in the plus DI is lower than the MDI. The RSI, as I was saying, is in absolute flat terrain, perhaps at the equilibrium line itself, 51 being the value. Doesn't make sense. As of now, we need a breakout or breakdown. Well, moving over from this to Bank Nifty, that appears quite interesting. Let's go there straight away. If you plot the moving averages onto Bank Nifty, well, this is the thing which we are getting. We have right now plotted the 5 SMA, which is in white, the 13, the 30, 13, 30, and the 50 period SMA. The green one being 50 is placed at 35048 or 35050 or whatever bait. And on the lower side, the 100-day SMA lies at around, well, 34167. So we can expect perhaps this trading range to continue, but all the same, let me repeat here, it had come down. This Bank Nifty had come down with a breakdown gap. And right now, if you ask me about the trend of this Bank Nifty, well, it is certainly on the downside. Should it move above the 1330 or the 50 SMA, which is at 35050, well, the movement might be for the upside. Till then, we have to accept it. Well, the down move may continue. At the lower side also, again, there is a support at the 100-day SMA, which is at around 34,180-90 odd levels, or 34,200 to be more or less at a approximate value. Well, to know what can happen to Bank Nifty, I would suggest it to look at it in a slightly different way. We will be going across the major constituents of Bank Nifty and then study what can happen there. Just before that, let's have a look at the ADX and the RSI, how they are functioning. And then we will be switching over to the constituents of Bank Nifty. The ADX in Bank Nifty has started to rise, and dominant being the minus DMI being the dominant DMI. Well, that signals perhaps the downtrend is on. Well, the more it starts, the more ADX moves higher side, the more trending portion you will be getting. Right now the value is at 16 and it had come down to lower levels of 11 odd levels, and in case if it continues to move up along with the dominant DMI, well, at this point the dominant DMI is the minus DMI. In that case, we might have a downtrend. Well, very hard to say as of now because the mood is changing almost every other day. Still, let's see the RSI before we proceed to the individual stocks. Well, RSI also currently at 44 level. On the lower side, the 40 zone had been giving a support, but all the same, one thing is to be seen that if you see the swings in RSI, certainly it appears as of now on the downside. So what do we plan for Bank Nifty? Quite easy. Well, here it is. This is the place where I will be looking at 35058. This would be very difficult for the Bank Nifty to cross on the higher side 35058, and on the lower side, well, as I told you, 34200 being the 100-day SMA. Will look out for the 100-day SMA on the downside. What's the open interest saying in Bank Nifty? let's go and have a look at it. Let's go and have a look at Nifty's open interest as well as Bank Nifty's open interest. Here is Nifty's open interest. Well, there are signs if you consider these particular days, well, somewhere down the line, open interest is increasing. Now, this shows that a trending market may come up very soon, and very soon the trading zone will be left behind because open interest is increasing and fresh money is being pumped into, fresh fuel is being added to the fire. एक बार बस आग लगना है, शायद बारिश की मौसम है इसलिए आग लगने में देर हो रही है, but all the same, if fuel has been added, you can be rest assured that the trending market will start soon. One thing, I know that I will be flooded with lots of queries here on this particular issue. So let me clarify here. If you watch this particular column, well, here the open interest in Nifty was 1 crore 15 lakhs. And on 30th of July, well, open interest here, it seems the combined open interest has decreased. Still, we are seeing a rise of 8%. Why so? On 29th of July, the combined open interest was actually based on July, August, and September's open interest. And on 29th, the July series expired. On 38th of July, a fresh series opened. So right now, this particular open interest consists of open interest of August, September, and October. The residual open interest of July is no longer calculated here. We neglect that data. So as such, leaving aside the July's data, adding the October's data here, that shows the open interest though may show a decrease here, but actually has increased by 8%. This will be common for almost all stocks. We will be just going into Bank Nifty, there too you will be seeing it. But keep in mind, the first day after expiry, this is a common feature. Here it is, again quite considerable build-up, and the build-up is quite healthy in nature in recent days. By any means, I would say it this way, that the present trend, whether it's up or down, well, it seems the chart suggests is down, is the market is going down with increase in open interest. By any means, that's quite a bad sign. Let's see what happens if we look at the charts and see what the constituents of Bank Nifty are telling us. We start with the weakest of the banks, that is Kotak Mahindra Bank. This is the chart. It had a massive breakdown once it broke below 1700 levels. Well, 1700 odd levels was continuously acting as a support for this particular stock, and once it broke down, it had come down to as low as 1626 before giving a minor pullback. Well, in case if it moves up, what will be the levels which I'll be watching out for? I'll be watching out this particular low, which is at 1669. This is the first level. The second level would be somewhere around 1685, and obviously the 1696 zone. But much more than that, the first level itself, 1669 to 1673, is the zone where I would be expecting some resistance in the stock. Might be the stock may continue to trade 3-4 days at this particular juncture and then take the southward move again. The trend is by any means down in this particular stock. Well, where can you expect it? Change the chart to weekly and you might get a level. And this is the 100-week SMA, which is at around 1595. Perhaps we might get the stock, perhaps the stock might come down to 1590 odd levels. And on the upside, well, the resistance can be taken at this zone, which is, again I repeat, which will be around 1669 to 1676 odd levels. Well, if you take it this way, so this will be a sell on rally stock. Going to State Bank, or rather let me go to IndusInd Bank. That would be interesting. Here it is, IndusInd Bank. The stock is presently in downtrend but is at exactly 100-day SMA. This is my 100-day SMA, and here it is. If you thicken this, that will be quite clear, and it has closed exactly at the 100-day SMA. Further shorts in the stock should be taken only when this 100-day SMA at 980 is violated, and in that case, perhaps, who knows, the initial first major support comes at at around 960, and then the 200-day SMA is at 923. On the upside, how much can it go? This is it. The 50, 30, and the 13-day SMA more or less are at 1012 to 1010 zone. This, in case of any rally, I'll be watching out this particular place where one can go short again. And in case of violation of this particular 100-day SMA, well, it will be again one side down with 960 as support, and perhaps, who knows, the 200-day SMA of 923 can also be tested. Axis Bank, another weak stock. It's below the 100-day SMA. Well, what are the resistance on the upside? This will be the resistance on the upside. First major resistance at 720 odd levels. When it violated 720, well, the support becomes the resistance, and obviously I'll be looking out at 720, and perhaps if there is some rebound, well, here it is, the 100-day SMA at 724. That can also be tested. Well, this stock again becomes a sell on rally stock with a lower target of somewhere around, well, here is the level 681, and perhaps might be that by that time this 200-day moving average, which is currently at 676, this too moves up somewhere here. So I take it this way, in a broad way, 675 to 680 could be a level for ICICI Bank in coming days, but by any means, this is the place where the best initiation of short trade can be done, well, at around 720 to 724 levels. Do your own studies before taking these trades, because the market is fluid, the changes may come up. Well, these are the three stocks which appeared weak to me. Now the other set of two stocks, well, here it is. One is State Bank. Let's see. Now State Bank reached all-time high on Thursday, and from there the next day it had reacted. The results, quarterly results for State Bank is on 4th of August. This we have to keep in mind. Then only take the trade. Obviously, you can expect upside and downside volatility as well. The 50 and the 30-day SMA both are placed at 425. It had taken support there and had moved up. So for any long trades, if we have a stop loss below 425, if we have a move below 425, the uptrend should be assumed that it has been aborted, else it may again move up. Mind it, that if the stock is at all-time high till a support level is violated, here the support level which we are considering is at around 425 odd levels, and below it minor swing lows can be taken at 418, which happens to be another support level. Well, here it is, 425, 418 on the downside, and in case if it moves up, it's at all-time high. I would say it this way, keep the stock in watch list. Don't take trade before 4th of August. Post the results, then attempt to trade in this, because bearishness should not come into the stock just before the results. Most likely it should not. Well, market तो अपने मूड में रहता है, कहीं भी कुछ भी तरफ चल जाता है, but all the same, keep this particular result factor in your mind. Another stock, well, the strongest of the lot, ICICI Bank. It's at all-time high, mind it. When a stock is at all-time high, we should never call this as a weak stock. Well, by any means, it is a strong stock. But it's very important for us to see how the stock behaved when it crossed the previous all-time high. Well, this was the previous all-time high, and the stock crossed it somewhere at this juncture. If I go to the daily charts and check that out, what comes up? Here it is. It had hit the all-time high. It had made its own swings on the upside, downside, and whatnot. Thereafter, a very strong up day, perhaps on the budget day, it moved up in a major way and again started its upward journey. So, well, presently it is just at the all-time high. We may expect the stock to trade in a narrow trading range before taking the upside move. By any means, this is again not a counter to go short in the market. Rather, in case weakness comes up and we get some supports here, perhaps that might be taken as an opportunity to buy, because the stock by any means is outperforming the bank index. So this should be a stock to watch out, buy at dips. Uh, as I told you, State Bank, well, should not be bias, should not have a negative bias before the results. Uh, Kotak, sell on rally. HDFC Bank, this is one which I think we missed out. Let's see, here it is, HDFC Bank. Well, the post results, the stock had come down in a major way, and let's see what happened. Well, the lowest point being 1404, and here as of now, major support is at 1455. The stock is trading at 1426 odd levels. 200-day SMA for the stock is currently at 1442. So 1442 to 1455 is a zone where I might again plan a short trade for this. Let some rally come, that can be used to sell this particular stock. Well, क्या करे, चार्ट से कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा था. That's why I took the other way around. I took the constituents of banks, the major stocks, and then tried to check it out what can happen to the bank index. If you tell me to conclude, I would say it this way: more or less, the weight appears sell on rally for Bank Nifty. Let's see what happens. Market हमको उल्लू बनाएगा या market हमको पास कर देगा. For the time being, stay well, stay safe. Bye for now.